Now at 11, chaos on campus. The search continues for the suspect who shot and killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Utah. Plus, CVS has walked back its offering of the COVID-19 vaccine. Hear from Oregonians how struggling to get a shot. And later.
We have been working very hard to try and slow the spread of emerald ash borer, which is a very devastating pest.
A beetle problem in Oregon puts countless trees at risk. Thank you for joining us here at 11. I'm Christine Pitawanich. Our top story tonight: investigators are on the hunt for the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk today. The assassination happened as the right-wing activist was speaking at Utah Valley University as a part of his American Comeback tour. Kirk was the founder of Turning Point USA and has given speeches at campuses all over the country. He was influential in conservative circles on social media and a close ally of President Trump. A warning: the details of the shooting are disturbing. Here's Dan Sheneman with the latest.
Witnesses say thousands of people gathered at Utah Valley University to hear conservative activist Charlie Kirk when a shot was fired.
Charlie went to pick up the microphone to answer, and it looked like he was shot in on the left side of his neck. There was a lot of blood, and he went limp, and he started to fall backwards.
Kirk, who had just answered a question about shootings, was rushed away. President Trump has since posted on social media, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth of the United States of America better than Charlie."
This incident occurred with a large crowd around. There was one shot fired and one victim.
Yes, we are actively looking for anyone and everyone who has any possible information relating to this shooting.
On campus, witnesses quickly scattered, and the campus near Provo was locked down.
It was terrifying. None of us knew what was going on. I was just in class. Someone heard a stampede of people running down the hallway. They checked it out, and immediately they're like, "Lock the doors, just go in." There's been a shooting.
At Utah Valley University, classes are canceled, and the campus is now closed. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
Politicians across the political spectrum have condemned the violence. Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley tweeted, "My thoughts are with the Kirk family and with the Utah Valley University community. Opposing views should never be suppressed with violence." Oregon House Republican leader Christine Drazen released a statement saying the shocking assassination of Charlie Kirk should horrify every American who believes in free speech and public debate. Any extremist who has called for violent action against their political opponents should be ashamed of what they have brought on our country. Violence and hatred must end. This shooting, one of a number of instances involving political violence. That includes the deadly shooting of a Minnesota state lawmaker, a firebombing of the governor's mansion in Pennsylvania, and the attempted assassination of President Trump during a campaign rally last year. We'll continue to cover this breaking news story as it develops here on air, on KGW.com, and on our free TV app, KGW+. In Multnomah County, District Attorney Nathan Vasquez called a judge's recent sentencing of a man known for reckless driving bewildering. You may remember seeing these videos of Oscar Lee Burrell Jr. on social media doing things like driving through parks and recording on the freeway while hanging out of his car. The judge, Catherine Von Terstega, found Burrell guilty of only 3 of the 11 charges he faced. Vasquez says he should have been held responsible and it was a bad choice for community safety. But a statement on behalf of the judge explained the sentence was consistent with the DA office's recommendation. Meantime, the DA's office says it was clear the court would not give Burrell jail time in the first place, and they recommended no driving for the 18-month probationary period, which the court declined.
I think the biggest point is that this is someone that is really flaunting their criminal behavior and doing it in such a dangerous and reckless manner that's both on the streets where we commute on a daily basis and in the parks where our children play. And I just don't believe that this decision reflected the dangerous nature of this conduct.
Burrell won't spend time behind bars. Among other things, though, he will serve 18 months bench probation, have his license suspended, and complete community service. Now to get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, a hiker who got lost near Multnomah Falls was found dead today. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office said the hiker was reported missing around 8:15 this morning. A short time later, a separate 911 caller reported a body in the general area that the hiker was reported missing. The hiker's identity has not yet been released. And the man arrested for the death of a 13-year-old boy in Gresham made his first court appearance today. 21-year-old Anthony Hunter Jr. is now being held without bail. Back in April, gunfire went through a wall, killing Liam Stanley Bailey, who was asleep in an apartment. Two other suspects in the case, 20-year-old Xavier Hirsch and 17-year-old Terrell Coy, are still wanted on second-degree murder. And a major traffic alert to tell you about in Portland. The Broadway Bridge will be closing for 6 months starting October 13th. No cars, trucks, buses, or streetcars will be allowed through until April. But cyclists and pedestrians can still use the south sidewalk. Streetcar service will continue on the east side with some adjustments, rerouting over the Tillicum crossing and combining the A and B loops into the one line. The stop at Northwest 9th and Lovejoy will also be closed. Okay, let's take a quick look outside on this Wednesday evening following a cloudy day with cool temps, but then it broke out into some blue sky. Meteorologist Matt Zaffino joining us now. Matt, I really did like that blue sky.
Yeah, we had a great sunset too all around the state. This one from our sky cam in the Dalles on the Oregon Veterans Home. Sun going down over the hills there. And scattered clouds, these are leftover from thunderstorms farther north and east that blew on off to the west. We had a pretty good storm up around Goldendale, not far from the Dalles earlier, but you see the clearing sky at sunset. Made for some nice color in the evening twilight, right? All right, we still have thunderstorms rolling around parts of Baker County, Grant County, and then up towards Umatilla County. So these thunderstorms have been very, very persistent, not wanting to give way. See, there's still several lightning strikes south of Ukiah towards Long Creek and down towards John Day. And the rainfall here has been heavy enough that we've actually had some issues with flooding and flash flood watches and warnings in Oregon, and even a flood advisory still ongoing tonight. Sunshine and warm weather, though, for the valleys through Saturday. We will get showers on Sunday as we get back in the rain action, but it looks like another warm-up on our way for next week. Now, I mentioned that flash flood watch continues till about this time tomorrow night, but in Baker County right now, there's a flood advisory. You know where that is? That's right on the top of where the Durkee fire was last summer. Remember that one? Burned nearly 300,000 acres. We had heavy thunderstorms, so again, potential for debris flows and the like there tonight. We'll have more on this in a bit. Christine?
Okay, thank you, Matt. Another strike could be looming in Clark County. Vancouver Public Schools classified workers will vote tomorrow on whether to authorize a strike. Nearly 800 employees, like paraeducators, secretaries, and technology specialists, have bargained for a new contract since April. They're pushing for higher wages, which they say could help limit staff turnover. Right now, union employees say there aren't enough paraeducators and not enough staff to properly monitor kids throughout the school day.
We want to hire and retain staff who are skilled. It's much easier for the kids, and kids respond well and they're most successful if they have staff who they know.
In response to the possible strike vote, a Vancouver Public Schools spokesperson tells us they have offered a comprehensive proposal on all outstanding issues. They tell us while the district values the work of support professionals, school funding has not kept up with inflation. And once again, school is canceled tomorrow in the Evergreen School District as employees continue their strike. The union and district met today, but district officials say more time is needed for negotiations. Pay has been a major issue. The strike includes workers like paraeducators, bus drivers, and maintenance staff. Meantime, classes in the La Center School District are also canceled as teachers there continue to strike. If Vancouver Public Schools votes to strike tomorrow, there will be roughly 46,000 students in Southwest Washington impacted by the ongoing strikes. Well, Oregonians are running into roadblocks getting their COVID-19 booster shots. Major pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens now require a prescription, and some doctors are hesitant to provide them. Here's Jake Holter with the story.
We're at the age where we were allowed to get these shots, and we're having trouble getting them.
William and Karen Thomas live in Portland and are both over 65. But when they went to get their COVID-19 boosters, they hit roadblock after roadblock and say they still don't have them.
We go and get our booster whenever it's time, and so we were ready to go get our booster and our flu shot, and then get that over with and be done. And instead, we wasted our time going down there, and I've been just checking around ever since, and it's all very confusing.
Last month, the federal government announced the updated COVID-19 vaccines are now approved for people 65 and older, as well as kids and adults with at least one pre-existing condition that puts them at risk for severe illness. But even though the FDA cleared the vaccine, the CDC's Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices still hasn't issued its recommendation. State policy forbids pharmacists from giving out the vaccine to anyone without a prescription until that committee issues its recommendation. But we've heard from multiple people that doctors have been hesitant to issue prescriptions.
They said that they were having to deal with the authorities on that. They couldn't give us a prescription.
The committee is expected to meet next week, months later than in previous years, which Brooklyn pharmacy owner Pat Hubble says has created an unnecessary burden.
It is unfortunate that they were unable to release these recommendations before the season got started. This does create a lot of confusion. It does create a lot of chaos within the healthcare community and our patient community. So it's really unfortunate. This probably could have been avoided.
And they said, well, we don't have clear protocol yet. We're not sure what to do.
Dwayne Medley also encountered an initial roadblock with his physician trying to get a prescription, but he eventually was told he could.
Whatever it takes to make the process easier, it should be done.
Jake Holter, KGW News.